What's the crack, you feckin' lulas, and welcome back to my channel. Breakups. They are not easy. They're never easy. No matter how long you've been with someone, it's not easy to tell someone or to be told that you don't want to be with them anymore. It is just a fucking slap in the face, let's be honest. So I thought it would be a good idea, because I'm going through a breakup now, and there's probably a lot of you out there going through breakups, that I would do kind of like a how to deal with a breakup kind of video, because I think they can be very helpful, and I wish I had this when I was going through this many times in my youth. I feel like I have a good way of dealing with things now, so I like to share my knowledge with all of you. Hopefully some of it will help, some of it might not be relevant, but let's try it anyway. So the first thing I could say about breakups is that there is no right way to deal with a breakup. I'm not going to be telling you all these things. You need to do all these things. Everyone is different. Every relationship is different. Every breakup is different. There's no right way of dealing with it. There's a right way maybe for you, but that might be completely different to someone else. So do not think that you're doing it wrong. Like I said, there's no right way. There's no book to this is how you deal with a breakup, and you can't deviate away from that book. It's a learning curve, and it's taken me quite some time to get to a place where I know how to deal with breakup now, and it works for me. So one really important tip I can give you, and I've only learned it with this breakup, is to go with your emotions as they come. So if you are feeling really shitty and really sad, let it out. Cry, talk to your friends, just let it all flow out of you, because that means you are dealing with that emotion as it's coming. If you try and pretend that you're fine and like bottle it all up, it will build and build, and it will become this massive thing later down the line when you think you're okay, and you might have problems in other relationships because you haven't dealt with these emotions. So definitely, if you feel like crying, cry. It's okay to cry, and it doesn't even matter if it's like a year later. Cry. But also, if you're feeling happy, you should never feel guilty for being happy, for laughing, for having a good time, for forgetting about the breakup. That's okay too. You need to be able to laugh and enjoy your life. You don't have to be sad all the time. You're allowed to be happy. There's nothing wrong with that. So just take them as they come and don't dwell. That's another thing that I've realized. You can't just sit at home and make yourself cry. You just can't do it, because what kind of life is that? You can't force yourself to be sad. Like, you know, if you are sad and you keep on thinking of more things and more things and more things to make you sad, what's the point in that? You're just going to go down this like really sad, depressed hole, and you don't need that. Right now you need to work on yourself being happy. So yes, you can cry, but don't let yourself stay in that mode. Allow yourself to deal with that, and then move on, go out and see some friends and have some fun, and forget about what's going on. Basically, don't feel like you have to be sad because you're going through a breakup. Like, everyone's looking at you, like, why isn't she sad? She obviously didn't care that much. Like, literally, that's just a ridiculous way to think. Do not feel bad for being happy. Now, this is a tip that I personally am going to stick to in the future if there's any more breakups. This is dependent if someone's breaking up with you. My advice is do not beg. Do not beg them to stay with you, because if this person has made up their mind, they've obviously thought about this long and hard, and they decided that maybe being together isn't the right thing. Begging, I don't feel like helps the situation, because even if they do decide, okay, yeah, I'll get back with you and give you another try, you will always have it in the back of your head. It's like, this person doesn't really want to be here. They're kind of just doing it because I begged. If I hadn't begged, they would have been happy to go our separate ways. They might have come back in the future if we hadn't begged, and then we would know that this person really wants to be with me. But you always have that doubt in your mind. They don't really want to be here, and then that will just cause more problems. Basically, you shouldn't have to convince someone to want to be with you. Another great tip, and you should be doing it already. I shouldn't even need to say it, but talk to your friends and family about how you're feeling all the time, because it is important to not deal with this alone. It's a big, huge adjustment to your life. You're losing this person that you had a connection with, and it's hard. It's not easy at all, and you need your friends around you to help and talk it through, because they've probably been through breakups as well, and they've come out the other end, or they'll know you better than this person that you were with, and they will know that you're better off without this person, and they will just reassure you. And also they'll be there to take your mind off things. They will bring you out and do fun things with you, and you'll realize there is more to life than just having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You have friends and family who care about you and love you, and they want to know how you are doing. So do talk to them as much as you can. I mean, they might get sick of listening to you. I know that my friends are probably sick of listening to me, but they would prefer that than you bottling all up and suffering alone. Now, this is all dependent on the person you were with, the connection you had, stuff like that. But as much as possible, limit your contact with the person that you've broken up with or they've broken up with you. Because if you are still in contact with them, things won't really feel like a breakup, and there'll be feelings still flying around and mixed signals, and you'll get confused and hurt and happy and sad, and it's just a shithole of emotions, and you don't need that right now. If someone was mistreated in some way or were disrespected, it's definitely good to cut all ties and just let your body heal before maybe get in contact again. I'm not saying that you can never get in contact with them, but just give yourself some breathing space. That is so important, because you'll never get over someone if you see or talk to them every single day. It's so difficult, and it can take so much longer if you see someone every day and talk to them every day. It's so much harder to get over them. So you need to cut all ties, limit contact as much as you can. And if you don't want a friendship with this person in the future, what I would recommend is just deleting them off everything. You know, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those things, just completely erasing them from your life and moving on. Because there's no point in keeping them there if you're just going to keep checking up on them, seeing what they're doing, seeing who they're seeing, but not wanting a friendship with them. No point. So one thing that we will always do when a breakup happens is we'll think about the relationship. We will think about all the good times. We will reminisce and we'll get sad thinking that all of that is gone. But one thing you need to do as well, you need to do, is think about the bad times too. Because once you go through a breakup, you're always just thinking, oh, remember this, and I missed this, oh, we had such a good time together, and you get really upset and think, I need to get back with this person because of all this great stuff. But every relationship has bad stuff, and that is kind of usually why a breakup happens, because there is bad stuff and someone can't deal with the bad stuff, or there's something not quite there. You have to think about all the bad stuff too. Like, you really do, because otherwise you'll never get over this person, because you'll just think everything was great, nothing went wrong, I'm never going to find someone like this. There's always going to be bad stuff, and you have to think about it, and you have to maybe even focus on it more. Because when you think of the bad stuff and weigh it up against good stuff, maybe the bad stuff will come out on top. But you have to think about the bad stuff. You can't look at it through rose-tinted glasses thinking everything was perfect, because 9 times out of 10, it's not always perfect. You need to think about the relationship as a whole and not just all the good stuff, because then you'll never really be able to move on. Do not try and move on too quickly. Like, if you think, okay, I'm broken up with someone now, I don't want to be alone, I'm going to try and just go out and date and forget about this person and just go out before you're ready. A lot of the time that does not work. Most of the time that does not work, because you haven't dealt with this huge adjustment to your life. You have not dealt with all your emotions, and you're just going out there and you're kind of like a ticking bomb. If you're going out there meeting all these new people and trying to get into a new relationship, something will snap. You need to deal with what's going on before you can let someone else in your life. You need to work on you, because if you're dragging all that relationship stuff into a new relationship, it's just going to be like a black cloud over everything. You need to deal with that, clear the skies, and then move on so you're fresh and new for this new person, and you can give them everything you've got. And that leads me on to my next thing, is give yourself some well-deserved me time. So this is what I mean by working on yourself. So basically, do the things that you want to do, maybe things that you couldn't do when you were in a relationship. Maybe do some hobbies of yours that you haven't really been focusing on because you've been focusing so much on this relationship. Watch movies by yourself, kind of take yourself on some dates as well, like go to the cinema by yourself, or go for a nice meal, or spend time with your friends and family and do things with them and not focus on relationships, people that you fancy, your ex. Don't worry about all that stuff. Just work on making you happy. Give you the time and love that you deserve. There's one thing that I will always tell people, and I'll tell myself as well. Never, ever, 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 ever regret a relationship. Even if it was horrendous, even if it was such a bad relationship, I would never recommend to regret it, because you learn so much from each relationship. Like so much. You discover how strong you are, and you discover what you want and what you don't want in a relationship. I know it sucks. It's a bitch. It's never easy, and you might always say, I wish that never happened. I wish I didn't have to go through this. I wish I did, blah, blah, blah. But you will learn from it. You will learn so much from the relationship, and you will get so much stronger, and you should never regret it. Everything happens for a reason. I strongly believe that. So this relationship happened for a reason. It might suck, it might have been horrible, but you went through it and you will come out stronger. So those are some of my tips for breakups, and I hope it's helped some of you out there. I know I would have needed this kind of video when I was younger, going through all these breakups and not being able to deal with it properly. But I have learned in my old age and all the breakups, so many breakups, like why doesn't people love me? Hopefully none of you go through a breakup. It's horrible, but unfortunately it does happen, and I hope that I've given you some helpful tips in case it does happen. Please give this video a wee thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment section if you have any more tips to add to this, something that I may have forgotten, some things that maybe have helped you in breakups. I'd really love to know. Okay, well, I'm gonna go and work on me, do the things that I like, and make myself happy. That sounds a bit wrong. I didn't mean it in that way. I meant just do things to make me smile and laugh and stuff, not other things. I know the way you're thinking. Get your mind out of the sewer, eh? Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.